المحلل استراتيجي وأمني هشام خريسات، يعني هذا الخبير كان قد كتب عن أن في باكستان على الأراضي الباكستانية يوجد سلاحين نوويين تحت تصرف السعودية في قاعدة كامرا في شمال منطقة أوتوك الباكستانية.
السعودية تواجد العسكريين السعوديين بقاعدة باكستانية هذا شيء روتيني وعادي بالنسبة لباكستان، لأن قليل من الدول يعني هي قريبة إلى باكستان مثل السعودية. يمكن أن السعوديين والخبراء السعوديون ليست فقط قواعد، يمكن يطلعون على البرامج الجارية بالمؤسسات النووية الباكستانية.
نعم.
وفي السابق أنتم لاحظتم كثير من الوفود زاروا المؤسسات الباكستانية، فبالنسبة لنا هذا شيء روتيني وعادي. ونقل أي صاروخ أو نقل أي قطعة من السلاح الحساس في حال الحاجة المفاجأة أو شيء إلى المملكة أو من المملكة إلى باكستان، نحن نعتبر هذا أيضا أمر روتيني. لا أحد في العالم، لا قوة إقليمية أو دولية أو ما يسمى اللوائح الدولية أو تمنع من ذلك.
To Tunis, to Baghdad, to other places. The Saudis decided that they needed to get a missile system, and they secretly negotiated with Communist China, with which at the time they had no diplomatic relations. And they and the Communist Chinese agreed that Communist China would provide Saudi Arabia with an intermediate range ballistic missile. It's called the East Wind in China, or the CSS-2. They successfully not only purchased them, but imported them secretly into the kingdom, built the underground nuclear launch facilities underground missile launch facilities that they would fire from, and installed them before Western intelligence, including the CIA, including the Mossad, including MI6, found out about them. When we came to the conclusion, I think in 1986, that the Saudis had successfully pulled off one of the great arms diversions in history.
Create an arms race.
Well, specifically where? A lot of people, Mr. Claridge, have talked about Saudi Arabia. They certainly have more money than anybody in the Middle East. Are you concerned about the possibility they may get a nuclear bomb?
Saudis already have the bomb. But people fail to remember.
Hold on a second, Mr. Claridge. Let me just emphasize that point, because that's an important point. You say Saudi Arabia already has a nuclear bomb?
Or several.
From where did they get it? They don't have a nuclear program, do they?
Well, people forget that it was the Saudis who financed the Pakistani bomb. They put billions of dollars into that effort to create that nuclear capability. And in return, of course, they got something. Now, people can argue whether it was dibs on 4 nuclear devices or 7. That's the argument. But no one really in the know argues that they do have access to nuclear weapons.
Well, this is extraordinary news, I think, for a lot of Americans, Mr. Claridge. And you do, just for those who don't know your background, you have a very extensive background in the CIA. You still have a lot of contacts in the Middle East. Are these nuclear weapons that you say Saudi Arabia now has, are they in Saudi Arabia, or are they in Pakistan waiting to be shipped to Saudi Arabia, or what?
I can't answer that question. But what I can say is, if people argue whether the Saudis could actually deliver the weapons to Iran, I say they could. They have a capability with their F-15s, and don't forget the Chinese missile system that sits in the middle of the desert of Saudi Arabia, which has been kept up to date. But to really do some damage to Saudi Arabia, the F-15 could easily destroy the oil facilities of Arabistan, Bandar Abbas, and finish that all off.
Final question, Mr. Claridge. We're short on time, but is it conceivable that the Saudis may use these nuclear weapons, if they have them, to take out these positions in Iran before the Iranians get a bomb?
I cannot answer that question. But I think if you sit around some evening on your patio with a fine glass of vintage port and a fine cigar, you may be able to come up with the answer yourself.
All right. Duane Claridge, a legend in the CIA. Duane Claridge, thank you very much for joining us.